No, no. Good morning, everybody. As we start the chitas of the day, today is Tuesday. Um, today is Tuesday. Today is third reading in the portion of Midbar. Today is the 29th, the 30th day of the month of Iyar. Tomorrow is Rosh Chodesh. We start on chapter 2 in the book of Midbar, verse number 1. V'yidab Hashem Moshe v'Aaron lamer, it's counting the Jewish people. God says to Moses, narrating, saying as follows: Ish al digloi, each person, the children of Israel shall camp, each man by his division. By his division, with his flag staff, that they will have a flag of their father's house. They should there's a distance from the tent of meeting. So the tent of meeting, the Mishkan was in the middle, and the Jewish people lived around it, and they lived by their tribe. Not that everybody has picked a place where to live. They lived by the tribe, and a group of tribes together, each one having a separate banner, so to say a flag, but the group had one big flag. So Rashi says, each division shall have its own flag staff with a color flag hanging on it. The color one being different from the color of the another. The color of each one was like the hue of its stone, set in the choshen. So the choshen had 12 stones, and each of the stones had a color. So that was the color of that tribe's flag. And this way everyone recognizes division. Another explanation, the sign literally translated ba'isais, of his father's house. According to the sign that the father Jacob gave them, that's what the Torah means. When Jacob passed away, before he passed away, he told his sons how they would carry him out of Mitzrayim and how they would carry him to Eretz Yisrael. He told them exactly which way Yehuda, Yisachar, and Zvulun should bear his body from the east, Reuben, Shimon, and Gad from the south, and the three others from the north, and three others from the west. So each and every one received exactly how they would carry his casket, and that's the way exactly. It means that Yaakov Avinu, Jacob, was a prophet and understood that the Mishkan would be like his Aron, like his ark, and the tribes would live around the Mishkan like they carried his ark. Mineged, what means a neged? It means if you have the Mishkan in the middle, how far must the first camp start? Between the camp and the Mishkan, Berachik mil, the distance of a mil. Yeshua, as it's wrote down in Joshua, it says, however, there it says, you shall be some distance, you and it, about 2,000 cubits. Again, the question how much an amma is, from 12 inches to 24 inches. It's not a clear exactly the amma. That's you have to count how much 2 amas is exactly. It's like, so that they'll be able to come to the Mishkan on Shabbos, because they couldn't go, it would be out of the Tchum Shabbos if it was more than 2,000 amas. So it's 2,000 amas, the minimum of 24,000 feet, 2,400 feet, I'm sorry. to between the camp and the Mishkan, so that you'd be able to go on Shabbos. Anybody from the Jewish people be able to walk from their home to the Beis Hamikdash on Shabbos. And Moshe and Aaron and the sons were living in middle of that 2,000 amas. In the middle of that 2,000 amas, let's say 2,400 feet, the Levium lived in that, so to say, no man's land between the Mishkan that was in the middle and the camps of the Jews that was around. The camp in front to the east that was leading the front of the movement of the whole group was the legion of Yehuda, division of the camp of Yehuda. The Nasi of Yehuda, the Nasi of the tribe of Yehuda was Nachshon ben Aminadab. Was Nachshon the son of Aminadab. The front side, Rashi says, which is Kedem, and which is the east side. And the west side is called the rear side of the world. So the east side. So that was actually the entrance to the Beis of the Mishkan was always facing the east to the west. Sheikh made his legion numbered 74,600. Who's together with him was the tribe of Yisachar. V'nasil of Yisachar, Nisan ben Tzur. Utzvav Gudov, in his counting of the tribe of Yisachar, was 54,400. Umate Zvulun, and he had with him most of the tribe of Zvulun. V'nasil Zvulun, and the leader of the tribe of Zvulun was Eliyahu ben Chayla. Utzvav Gudov, Shivim v'Chamishim Elov, the tribe of Zvulun had 57,400. So these are the four tribes that were together as one: Yehuda, Yisachar, Zvulun. I'm sorry, three tribes: Yehuda, Yisachar, Zvulun. So three tribes. The total sum of the tribe, right? Because each tribe was three. I'm sorry, 3, 6, 9, 12. The total sum of Legion of Yehuda, this group of three tribes, was 186,000, and they shall journey first. And they traveled 400, and they traveled first because they were the leaders. Yehuda and his group were the leaders of when they traveled. Rashi says, what does it mean they traveled first? When the cloud was seen departing, the Kahanim would sound the trumpets. The camp Yehuda would set off first. Start packing up, start moving. And when they traveled the journey forward, returned to the same position in which they camped. The Levites and the wagons in the center of the division. Yehuda to the east, that of Reuben to the south, Ephraim to the west, and Dan was to the north. And that's the way they traveled. Verse number 10. And then there was the legion of the division of the camp of Reuben. Heimana, they were on the south side. The survivor of Reuben, Elitu ben Shtei, the head of the tribe of Reuben was Elitu ben Shtei. Verse 11. And his legion was numbered 46,000, and 500. Together with Yehuda was the tribe of Shimon. Reuben was the tribe of Shimon. Shimon, and next to the tribe of Shimon, the leader of the tribe of Shimon was Shlumiel ben Tzurishadah. Verse 13. In the tribe of Shimon had Tisha v'Chamishim 59,000, Shleish and 300. And together with them was Mate God, was the tribe of God. V'Nasan God, and the head of the tribe of God was Yosef ben Ruel. And together his number was 45,000, and 650. We're talking about when you take the number where it's 20, is men from 20 and above. So that means there was younger people and women. This is probably double the number, surely double the number of to that number. or even more. This group of the tribe of Reuben, Ma'as Elef, their group had 101,000. Chamishim Elef, 151,000. Rabba Meis, and 400. V'chamishim, and 50. Tzavoisam, Vishnim Yisrael, and they were the second ones who would travel. Verse number 17. Nasa Esrael might, and then the tent of meeting shall set out. The tent of meeting in the tribe of Levi, Machna Levi, would travel. Kashayachnu Kain Yisrael. As they traveled, as they rested, so they shall travel. Ish al yadei ledigleim, each man to his place, to his degel, to his divisions, to his flag. So that says, what is the meaning that when the tent of meeting shall set out after the two divisions, when Yehuda moved out and Reuven moved out, the tribe of Levi needed to be packed up right in Mishkan and themselves and start ready to move. Verse 18, Dega Machne Ephraim, and now we have the legion, the flag of the tribe of Ephraim, Litzavasim, to their camp. Yama, they were on the west side of the Mishkan. But Nasa live in Ephraim, Elishama ben Amud, which now did an accounting of the tribe of Ephraim was Abayim Eloh's 40,000, the Chamesh Meis and 500. Va'olav, together with Ephraim, was Menashe, with the tribe of Menashe. But not to Menashe, Gamliel ben Pedotzer. 21. So we do those name and his number of Menashe was 32,000. That's time 200. And together with these two tribes in the Mata Binyamin, the tribe of Benjamin. This was the group, the children of Yosef, Ephraim and Menashe and Benjamin. With Nasa de Binyamin, Avidim ben Gedeni. Utzvav Gudem Chamishu Shloishem Elef, 35,000. Abba Meis. Kolak Dulam Mata of Ephraim. The total sum of legions to the tribe of Ephraim was Ma'as Elef, was 100. Shmeis Alofim, 108,000. Umeya 108,100. Tzavaisam Ushlishim Yisrael. They were the third group to travel. The last group of three. Deglamachne Dun. The legion under the division of Dun. They were the back, one of the back. But Nasaveh Dun, they were in the north. They were behind the Mishkan. And the leader of Dun was Achiezer ben Ishada. He had a group of, his counting was 62,000. Shlamez is 700. Together with the tribe of Dun was Mate Asher, the tribe of Asher. Asher, the leader, the prince of the tribe of Asher, was Pagiel ben Achron. He had a number of 41,000, the Chamesh Meis and 500. Umati Naphtali, together with them was the tribe of Naphtali. The Naphtali, the leader, the prince of the tribe of Naphtali, was Achira ben Einon. Verse 30. Utzvav Gudov, Gdeim, and his number was 53,000, Chamishim Elef, Baba Meis of 400. Verse 31. Call up a good Lamachne Dun. It's Tamso legion of the fourth group was the tribe of Dan. Together they had 100 Mas Elef, Vishim and Chamishim, 157,000, Sheish Meis, and 600. La'achroina Yisro. They were the last group of tribes to travel. Verse 32. These are the numbers of the Israelites according to their father's house. All the total number was Sheish Meis Elef, 600. 603,000. Chamesh Meis, V'chamishim, and 550. Leviim spoke to B'Sei Israel, and the Leviim were not counted with the rest of the Jewish people. As God commanded, they were counted next week. Pashas Nasei. And the Jewish people did whatever God commanded. Moshe, Kein Chanu L'Digleim, that's the way they encamped by their visions or their flags. The pain is so, and that's the way they traveled. Each person to his family. Now, let's say that it means that they travel. The question, how much is 2,000 amas? But you have the Mishkan in the middle, 2,000 amas, in each and every box of three tribes is like a mile. This is when the Jewish people traveled. They traveled like 3, 4 miles. It was like a group of 3, 4 miles traveling together. I can get you exactly the number, but that's the way they traveled. You can imagine that's how wide they were from from one side to the other side, and from all sides, like a big box. Millions of people traveling. It's not like you imagine a picture of people walking through a little valley. This was a big, wide area, and that's why it says that the Arain cleaned out the way of the Jewish people, a couple of miles from one side to the other side to empty out and make it a smooth path and get rid of mountains and get rid of rocks and stones. This whole couple of miles of journey. So if you wanted to go visit your friend on the other side, you had to walk a couple of miles. There was no taxi service, no Uber service, so you had to walk a couple of miles from one side of the camp to the other camp. It says the ark cleaned out the path. It was a miraculous thing. The ark with the broken tablets traveled in front of them and would flatten out the ground. Again, it didn't flatten out the one little path. It flattened out miles of area, emptied out miles, because that's the way they traveled. They traveled the way they camped. It's an interesting kind of thing. They traveled the way they camped, and I don't know who held the speed exactly. Yehuda held the speed of exactly the way they traveled. So this was a major movement of traveling, of millions of people traveling, but they traveled within a box of a couple of miles. Okay, we're going to the Tanya of the day, the 29th day of Iyar. We continue in the middle of chapter 52. We are holding on the 4th part of chapter 52. Alter Rebbe is explaining a beautiful concept in the understanding the worlds, Atzilus, Bria, Yitzir, and Asiyah. And he explained that in essence, the world, every world, Chassidus Kabbalah explains, every world is made up of 10 manifestations. It's Chochmah till Malchus. Every world has 10 manifestations, from the concept of wisdom to the aspect of Malchus. So Malchus is, as Chassidus explains, Malchus is where Chochmah resides in that world. And in Malchus, which is also called the Shechina, which is also the concept of speech, all is connected to Malchus, because Malchus actually gives the capability for all the spheres of that world to be able to shine, so to say, to be able to shaychein, to be able to rest in it and create something. So that's why everything comes into Malchus of the world of Atzilus. And Malchus of the world of the emanation creates the Malchus, creates the Chachma of the world of creation. And now you have all the attributes of the 10 attributes in the world of creation, Bria, and they come into the Malchus of the world of Bria. And in Malchus of the world of Bria creates Chachma, Bina, Das, the wisdom, understanding of knowledge of all that's in the world of creation. What's in the world of creation? Is the world of souls and certain malachim and certain angels that are in the world of creation. Because that's the world of wisdom. That's why it's the world of souls. And that's why it's also the world of the Talmud, the world of where the Gemara, the Talmud comes from. Because the Talmud, the Gemara, is wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. If you really want to know the wisdom and understanding and the knowledge of the Torah, you need to learn the Talmud. You need to learn the Gemara. Now the Alter Rebbe continues and explains the next world. When Malchus Datzilus ultimately comes into. goes through the Chachma of the world of Malchus, of Atzilus, goes through the world of Bria, and it comes into the Malchus, it comes into the kingship of the world of Bria, which is again the Shechina, it's the Kodesh, it's the Holy of Holies of the world of creation. And now it comes into the world of Yitzira. So now it comes in to the world of Yitzira, and that it comes into the world of Yitzira, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, and all the emotions of the world of Yitzira, it has to come into Malchus of the world of Yitzira. Because again, Malchus is the vessel of the world of Yitzira. Malchus is the Shechina of the world of Yitzira. Malchus is the Holy of Holies of the world of Yitzira. Just like it's in every world. It's the same way in the upper world. So now, and that's the dibur of the world of Yitzira, the words of the world of Yitzira. Now, what is in the world of Yitzira created through Malchus, in the world of Bria, in the world of creation, is created wisdom, is more wisdom. What is created in the world of Yitzira through the coming it down, because it's lower down to the next world, comes out emotions, ruach. So that's it. When the latter, Malchus of Atzilus, together with the Sphira which is enclosed in Malchus of Bria and a Chabad of Yitzira, are clothed in Malchus of Yitzira, the souls which are called Ruach are created. The Ruach. So what does that mean? Look at the explanation. For the three levels of souls, Nefesh, that's in the world of Bria. Ruach, I'm sorry, Neshama is in the world of Bria. Ruach is in the world of Yitzir. And Neshama corresponds to three lower worlds. Nefesh is in the originates in the Asiya, Ruach Yitzira, and Neshama in Bria. Because again, Neshama is the intellect of the soul, Ruach is the emotions of the soul. And Nefesh is the action of the soul. With regard to Neshamas, the Alter Rebbe has previously, and the Alter Rebbe has said previously, that they are created from the Malchus of Bria. Now discussing the level of Malchus Yitzira, the world of formation, he writes that the souls of the level of Ruach is created. What also is created in that world? Malacha should be Yitzira. And the angels of the world of Yitzira formation. What comes out? So now we know that it's a lower level of angels, it's a lower level of souls, because it's the spirit of the soul, it's the emotion of the soul, it's not the intellect of the soul. So now you understand the Gam Misham, what comes out of that world in the aspect of Torah, Mishnah Shalafanenu, comes out the Mishnah, the code, the law. The Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, Shialachis Psukais, which are basic laws. And Mishachas Gam came a Chachma Binash Ein Sefer, but they all come out from the infinite aspect of God. But they come out into laws. Do, don't do. Not into wisdom, not into the why you should do or not do. The Mishnah tells you do this, don't do that. So that's what it says. Not only the Gemara within Talmud, but Mishnah do everything it comes from Chachma of God. Even though it's stated the Mishnah derived from Midas, yet since they are the Mishnah, they are concealed the rational of law. They too emanate from Chabad of Ein. Everything comes from Ein Sof. But the aspect of their wisdom, that the reasoning, interpretation, halacha are clothed and hidden within themselves and not revealed form. The Mishnah doesn't give you. That's why you look in the Gemara. You have a Mishnah. You have like 20 pages of Gemara. Because a Mishnah just tells you this is the law. Now we're going to go into the explanation. When you learn the Gemara, you say, wow, this is what the Mishnah, the 3 lines of the Mishnah said. Yeah, because that whole Gemara is all hidden in this Mishnah. What do I see in the Mishnah? Do this, don't do that. This rabbi said do this, that rabbi said don't do this. Could be arguments in the Mishnah too, but there's no explanation. Hillel said this and Shammai said that. That's it. Now the Gemara goes and explains it. But in the Mishnah, so everything is in the Mishnah, it's just hidden. So the whole Gemara, the 10, 20, 30 pages that follow the Mishnah are all in the Mishnah, but they're hidden in the Mishnah. In the Mishnah is more revealed the emotions of the Mishnah, the emotions of the law. Do this, don't do that. And so to all laws, Shulchan Aruch, code of Jewish law, do this, don't do that. That's where you see the revelation of God, of what is permitted, what's not permitted, which all comes out, as we said just a day ago, the permitted come out of chesed, the emotion of God of kindness, and the unpermitted, the prohibited, come out of gevura. So they're emotional concepts. So as mentioned earlier, the actual halachic decision that something is permissible drives to the divine attribute of kindness, and something is prohibited is from the attribute of mercy, of severity. So that's where emotions, midos, are revealed. As brought down in Kabbalah, that the six emotional nest, the six emotions and nest in the world of Yetzirah, and they, the six sfirot of Midas, comprise a general two extensions, right and left, which the right is chesed, lahaka misit the chesed, everything that the halacha that is mutter comes from the attribute of kindness. You go up to God, anything that goes to the stringent. That's interesting. How many seder of Mishnahs are there? Shisha Sidei Mishnah. You know the song. Who knows five? Five of the books of the Torah. Who knows six? Six of the books of the Mishnah. Why are the Dafka 6 books of the Mishnah? Because there's 6 emotional attributes in the world of Yetzirah. There are 6 emotional attributes from Chesed till the attribute of Yesod is 6. Malchus is separate. So you have 6 emotional. That's why there's 6 to Mishnah. There's 6 levels of Mishnah. 6 books of the Mishnah is because it's symbolic to the 6 attributes in the world of Yetzirah. But nevertheless, everything comes to Chachma. So therefore, ultimately, but ultimately, in the world of Yetzirah is hidden the Chachma d'Atzilus, the wisdom of God in the world of Atzilus. But it comes down ultimately in the Malchus of Yetzirah, in the attribute of kingship of Yetzirah, where there the Mishnah comes out. But ultimately, again, everything comes out from the Chochmas Ein Sof Baruch Hu, which is the wisdom of the world of Atzilus. Everything ultimately comes from there. And they are connected, they're unified with God. Because so even if as they come into the world of Bria, and as they come into the world of Yetzirah, they're still one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because everything comes from wisdom. Everything comes from the wisdom of God. Everything ultimately has within it the wisdom and knowledge of the world of the wisdom of Atzilus. Because the infinite light of God is connected to that wisdom with the unity that cannot be broken. It's the ultimate united and perfect union. Thus, when the Shekhinah closes itself to God's explanation, thus when the Shekhinah closes itself in the shrine of the Holy of Holies, the world of Yetzirah, and thereafter in the world of in the Malchus of Yetzirah, the part of Torah which is called Mishnah is drawn down. This being a receptacle light of Shekhinah is revealed in the world of Yetzirah. Now we go to the next world. Malchus of the world of Yetzirah. comes down into the world of Asiya, and it comes down to the wisdom of the world of Asiya, and from there it travels to the Malchus of the world of Asiya. Now it comes down to the world of Asiya, the world of action, and it clothes itself in the Kochi Kochi Malchus of the world of Asiya, the Shechina of the world of Asiya. And each of these three worlds, Bria, Yitzira, and Asiya, self-understood. But this is all spiritual concepts. So they divide, they're subdivided and subdivided. As we know, the Sphere itself can subdivide itself and subdivide itself and subdivide itself, right? We just counting the Sphere Saima. So we go 7 times 7, it's already 49. You can go 10 times 10. That's why 100 is a number, and 1,000 is a number, and even more, because everything can be subdivided, subdivided, and subdivided. And it creates pratim, which are called particular levels. Malchus Datzilus, the Malchus the Malchus of the will of Tzilus is enclosed in number one, the level of Malchus of each particular world. B, moreover, through the above mentioned enclosed, it descends. And number three, encloses itself in the shrine of the Holy of Holies, namely the Chabad, which is the world below in its rank. So now, Malchus, again, that's the greatness of Malchus. Malchus is speech. Malchus, it creates the next level. So Malchus of Atzilus, which has within it the wisdom of Atzilus, comes down into the next world. In which level? Into the wisdom of the world of Atzilus, which the wisdom of the world of Atzilus comes down. The wisdom of the world of Atzilus comes down to the wisdom of the world of creation. Wisdom of the world of creation comes down into the Malchus of the world of creation, which creates the wisdom of the world of formation, which comes down into the Malchus of the world of formation, which then comes down to the wisdom of the world of action. And so the Kochi Kochim is the wisdom of the world of that world that comes into Malchus, the Shekhinah. That's why the wisdom resides. The wisdom resides in the Holy of Holies. Ultimately, where does the wisdom reside in this world? In the first Beis Hamikdash, in the Mishkan, in the first Beis Hamikdash, in the second Beis Hamikdash, was the Holy of Holies. Shekhinah reside in the Mishkan, in the Holy of Holies. We thus have Malchus of Atzilus as enclosed in Malchus the world of the worlds of high rank, descending to the Chabad, the world of lesser rank. I understand the verse. It says, Malchuscha, your kingdom is the kingdom of all worlds. The text seems to imply, what is the meaning of that statement? You're the king of kings, you're the kingdom of all worlds. The text seems to imply that there is one level of kingship called your kingdom, and another level of kingship called the kingdom of the world. The Rebbe therefore explained that the verse is telling us that your kingdom is the innermost aspect of the kingdom of all worlds. Within them are enclosed the kingdom Malchus of the world of Atzilus. Your kingdom, the Malchus of the world of Atzilus, is really the beginning and ultimately part of each and every Malchus of the next world. Should make a movie of this concept. But I think you have to imagine, you have to put in your mind when you learn this, the four worlds: world of emanation, the world of creation, the world of formation, the world of action. And don't forget that these four worlds are spiritual world. The world of action is before actually this physical world. This physical world comes from the world of action. So these are four spiritual worlds. And that's why this is a nefesh. Malchus, the world of action is the nefesh. That's the nefesh, ruach, neshama. So you have the nefesh, ruach, neshama. Nefesh is that's the world of asiya. Ruach is the world of Yetzira, and neshama is the world of Bria, the world of creation. We got to finish this. Mashchina. It is from the Shechina. Again, the Malchus is the Shechina, which is closed in the shrine of the Holy of Holies of each and every general particular world. That light and vitality are extended and diffused to the whole world, and the creature created. That's it. So comes into Chachma of the world of let's say the world of Bria, comes into Malchus and gives life to that world. Not only gives life to that world and all its creations of that world, of the world of creation, but now it has the capability to come in the next world. But even in the world of creation, Chachma of the world of creation, which was Malchus of the world of emanation, comes into its Malchus of the world of creation and now gives life to all the angels and souls in the world of creation. And the Shamas and the angels of that world. That then comes into then it lowers itself, Malchus, and it creates the wisdom of the world of formation. Now you have Chachma of the world of formation. It comes into Malchus, the Shekhinah, Kachim of the world of, the Kachim comes in to the world of formation and becomes speech. And through speech, everything is created. Now it creates all the souls and angels of the world of creation, of the world of formation. The Malchus of the world of formation comes down into wisdom of the world of action. And that wisdom ultimately comes down into Malchus as it travels through the Esespheres of that world. It comes down into the world of, into the level of Malchus of the world of action. Kochi, the Holy of Holies, the Odin of the world of action, comes into the Malchus of the world of action. And through the Malchus of the world of action, created ultimately this world. Start of my modest, the 10 utterances of the world of action. But in this 10 utterances of the world of action is connected ultimately to Chachma, to the wisdom, because everything was created through the wisdom of the world of Atzilus. But all the way up there for the world of Atzilus, the highest level of Ein Sof, the concept of Chachma, of Ein Sof, ultimately creates through Malchus of the world of action. Because everything is connected to the Chachma of the Eibishter. Kulam Chachma says. Kulam nivru ba'asara ma'imoris, for they were all created by the 10 utterances. Shebemaise bereshis, that happened in the creation of the world. Shem Dvar Hashem, which is God's speech. Hanikra, the word of God, is also called Shekhinah, presence of God. The word of God, presence of God, the kingship of God. So divine speech revealed that which is previously concealed. This is also the purpose of the Shekhinah, revealing to the world a light which is essential higher than that world. That's the beauty of Malchus. Malchus has the capability to reveal things that are hidden. Again, Malchus of each world reveals things that are previously hidden in that world itself. That's why it's the creation of the souls and angels of that world itself. And it has even the capability to create a whole new reality. It creates the next world, the wisdom of the next world. because that's the power of Malchus. Power of Malchus is to contain within it. That's what all the hidden things, all the higher levels, and to give revelation. And the revelation is through speech. Therefore, Malchus of Atzilus, which in turn termed the Shekhinah, in which God's speech has revealed the 10 utterance of the creation, is the level from which the life and vitality are drawn down and revealed to all worlds and created beings. So ultimately, Malchus Datzilus is the first Malchuscha, is the first level of Malchus in the 4 worlds. That's the first Malchuscha, Malchus Kalelamim. Malchuscha, your Malchus, Malchus Datzilus, is really the Malchus of heavy world, because the beginning of the utterance of God in the world of emanation, which brought about the utterance, the words of God in the world of creation, which brought about the words of God in the world of formation, which ultimately brought about the word of God that's written in the verse. And God said there will be light. That's in the world of action. So that's why the Alter Rebbe is going to say the verse, probably tomorrow, the verse of God is in the world of action. The pasuk is the world of action. And all this is accomplished through Torah, for the Torah is a shrine of the Holy of Holies, in which the Shekhinah first resides in every world. Thus, as mentioned earlier, it serves as a garment to the Shekhinah. So the Shekhinah is the Torah, because everything is Chachma. The Torah is the Chachma of the Eibishter, the wisdom of God. So ultimately, the Shekhinah is the Torah. That's why it says God looked into the Torah and created the world. Everything was through the concept of wisdom, the Chachma of the Eibishter, the Chachma of God Himself, which is the Torah, which is ultimately going to be the Word of God. I'll repeat everything if you want. After I just finish this off, I'll repeat everything. We finished the Tanya of the day. Today is the 29th, and it's also the 30th day of the month. So the Tillim is from chapter 140 till the end of the book, to 150. And you finished the Tillim, and you also did the Tillim, the Psalms of the day. And tomorrow we start again from the beginning of the book. So I wish you all a wonderful day, and I want to wish everyone on Facebook. You should have a wonderful day, and we'll see you, Mitchum, tonight at 7:30, where we learn a Sikh of the Rebbe on the portion of the week. Have a beautiful one day at 7:30.